With the latest developments in Syria, the Syrian city of Hama has fallen into the hands of the opposition, and the statue of Hafez al-Assad in the city has been demolished. Demonstrations of joy were held in the city throughout the day yesterday. The Syrian Defense Ministry says the loss of Hama is temporary. The opposition, led by Hayat Tahrir al-Sham, is not stopping. They have reached the interior of Hama. Let's look at the details.
The Syrian opposition is advancing at a pace that surprises the world. After Aleppo, Hama is no longer under the control of the Assad regime. Hama was one of the strongest points of resistance against the regime when the civil war started, but it was always under the control of the Syrian army. Having lost Hama for the first time, the Assad regime is trying to minimize its defeat by saying that it is temporary. The Syrian Defense Ministry, on the other hand, said that the loss of Hama was temporary, as the Syrian army redeployed outside the city after intense clashes. A new era began in Hama. Prisoners were released from jail. The statue of Hafez al-Assad in Hama was also demolished amid jubilant demonstrations. The capture of Hama is also strategically very important, because Hama is an important crossroads connecting the center of Syria to the north, east, and the Mediterranean. It is only 200 kilometers from Damascus. It is also neighboring Latakia, where Assad's main ally Russia has a naval base. After Hama, the opposition also entered Homs, south of the city. HTA-affiliated units have reached the interior of Homs. They took control of the town centers of Rastan and Terbise. They also entered the Ver neighborhood west of the city center. If Homs is completely captured, Damascus will be cut off from Latakia, the Mediterranean Sea. This would deal a heavy blow not only to Assad but also to Russia. To prevent this, Russia bombed the bridge connecting Hama to Homs with its airplanes. Hezbollah has sent a monitoring force to Homs. The Moscow government has also made a surprising move. Russian citizens were urged to leave Syria. An Iranian security source told Reuters that Iran is planning to send missiles, drones, and military advisors to Syria. Iranian Foreign Minister Abbas Karakchi was in the Iraqi capital Baghdad. He said that the attacks launched by the Syrian opposition against the Assad regime in Syria posed a threat to the entire Middle East. Iraqi Foreign Minister Fuad Hussein said, "We will call an emergency ministerial meeting of the Arab League and use all diplomatic means to restore calm in Syria." There is also activity in southern Syria. According to opposition sources, the anti-regime forces captured the main army base in Dirail. In Suwaida, clashes broke out between Druze and regime forces. At least 3 people were killed. In Suwaida, the Druze captured the main police station and a prison. Regime forces were given 24 hours to leave the city. Regime forces withdrew east of Deir on the Iraqi border and handed it over to the PKK-YPG. There is a tense standoff in Damascus. 2 drones were shot down over the capital. No one has yet claimed responsibility. For its part, the Israeli army has struck areas on Syria's border with Lebanon that it claims are being used to transfer weapons to Hezbollah. Reinforcements were also sent to the Golan Heights. Jordan is on alert and the Syrian border is closed. Syrian opposition forces announced that they had taken control of parts of the Nasib border crossing on the Jordanian border.